guys, I'm Teacher Shelley from America, and I am representing A Child Becomes Reach for South Africa. And I wanted to spend 15 minutes showing some of the items that I have purchased for the school. I'll be giving lessons for teachers on how to actually use the materials that I've provided in the shipping container. The container is set up with different learning centers. I'm sure you're familiar with learning centers. We call them learning centers back at home. In the shipping container, I have a learning center for teaching maths, for teaching art, blocks, for teaching writing, dress up, and then lastly, outdoor play. So in this YouTube video, I'll cover 3 to 4 of the centers, and then I'll have another 15-minute video for the rest. I like to start with math skills. Preschool years between 2.5 and 5 are probably the most important for laying the foundation for early numeracy or math skills. We don't have an S at the end of math, but I went ahead and did for South Africa. They call it maths. We call it numeracy skills. And I have supplies that will cover patterning and shapes, counting, sequencing, and one-to-one correspondence. Those are some of the terms that we use at home. So beginning with this box, we have something called the Unifix cubes, and they come in many colors. When you lay this box out, we want to make sure that everything goes back in the container that has a picture of the items in the box. We want to teach the kids, the children, that all manipulatives go back in the correct box. So with Unifix cubes, you want to show the children what the purpose of these cubes is. And they can be used for measuring. For instance, if we want to know how many Unifix cubes long this piece of paper is, we would line them up and measure how many Unifix cubes this piece of paper is, vertically or horizontally. Or you can lay a child down on the ground and measure how many Unifix cubes long they are. This is often fun. You can have the measurements of the children and then graph it and compare different sizes. Another thing you can do with Unifix cubes is teaching patterning. And again, you want to intentionally teach the children that a pattern is basically here with colors. We're following an ABAB pattern, that's what we call it. And you can show them, again, intentionally, how we have green, orange, green, orange, green. What comes next? Hopefully, children will notice the pattern and they'll say orange, and they can build on that. Another type of pattern is what we call an ABB pattern. So we have 1 green, 2 orange, 1 green, 2 orange. What's next? 1 green. And children can build patterns from there. So being able to identify an ABAB pattern and then an ABB pattern is something that we're looking for this age group. Okay, so that's patterning. The next math skill that we have, sorry about that, on my math, are shapes. It's important that children recognize 5 shapes in the preschool years, starting with your very basic shape, which is, sorry about that, this box open, square, and triangle, and circle. Those are the first 3 that we want children to be able to recognize. And feeling shapes, closing their eyes and feeling it and being able to tell you what shape it is one way to help them remember. We don't need to necessarily work on colors with this. Right now we're just focusing on shapes. And then we build from there to the more difficult one. Rectangle is one that children often have a hard time remembering. And then oval. And notice that some of these, as we move into a pentagon shape, it's 5 sides. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We talk about the sides in comparison to a square, which has 4, or a triangle, which has 3. And I believe we move into a hexagon. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, or the term for a kosa, but this is 6 sides. Hexagon has an X in it. That's how I teach the children to remember hexagon. And then we have a heart and a star. And here we have, it does have 4 sides. It's not a square. We can call it a parallelogram, but this isn't necessarily something that preschool children need to know. But we have an ambulance and a police car that the children can look at the shapes and put the items into the ambulance. So that's another skill too, looking at the shape, feeling it, and being able to find the correct size that goes in. Okay, so we have shapes. I have some more shape games that, Ralph, can you hand me that box? Thank you. Thanks for staying with me here. In this box, we have more shape things for the children. We have something called a shape puzzle, and it comes with shape cards. So you'll take out maybe just, again, you don't want to put out the whole deck. With young children, less is best is what the little rhyming term that I like to tell teachers. Less is best. So maybe, 4 out. If you have 4 children at a table. And with these shape cards, for instance, hot air balloon, you'll find shape pieces. Now again, this doesn't necessarily have a name other than half circle, but we will see that there's a triangle and an oval, and you want to be using the names of these shapes. This doesn't really have a name, but if you see one that does, that we do know that they've been learning oval and triangle, be sure to use it. They're going to look at this card and they're going to try to build this picture using these shapes. And again, the term intentionality is incredibly important working with young children. We want to tell them what we're doing and show them just very basic, even just with picking out the easier cards. This one's a deer. That might be a little bit difficult at first. I think this one is a crab, but try to find the easier pictures first. Show them what they're to do, and then always put things back into the containers and back into the boxes. This needs to be taught to young children, putting things back after they've learned the task and before they go on to something else. Okay, with one-to-one correspondence, there is a box that has elephants, and I believe they go all the way to 20. But what we're looking here is we're looking at the number 1 and then deciding how many links. There are several links in this package. How many links would go on the number 1? So a child would pick out 1 link. You'd help them put it on the elephant's nose. Now maybe pull out a random number, maybe number 5, and you lay a pile of links out for the child. Have them count 5. You may need your help with this, but we're going to put the link on the nose, 1, and you may need to help them with this to get this fine motor skill that is required to put these links on, but then you help them along the way slowly. Do we have enough? 1, 2, 3, and when we talk about 5 with 5 fingers, no, we need more. 4, 1 more, 5. So again, the children are counting 1 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Maybe you only want to work with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's best not to put everything out. Start with a small amount. Again, intentionality. We're showing the children exactly what we're doing. We're taking our time. We're counting. And this is not just a play with the links. You can set them out to play at choice time, but when you're actually teaching a math skill, you want to work with the numbers and actually show the children how to count the links. So there can be times where they just play with them and make things with the links, or you're actually doing a teaching time when you're teaching them. Okay, I'm going to move through some more math skills. I have a few more minutes for math. I have something called geoboards. Geoboards come with rubber bands, and they have a grid on them, and children use the rubber bands to make different pictures that correspond with some picture cards. They're in this box. I think initially have the children play with the rubber bands and the geoboards and come up with their own shapes, their own designs. But again, when they're all done, we want to take the rubber bands off and then put them back. So again, these are called geoboards. We're working with fine motor skills and also building shapes with the rubber bands and the boards. Okay, and I'll go through a couple more items with math skills. Here we have what we call our teddy bears, and each teddy bear comes in a large, medium, and small bear. There's many things you can do with the bears. These bears can be used for sorting, so sorting by color, sorting by size. You can pattern big bears. We can have our A, B, I think that's a medium sized bear, but you can pattern your big bears. You can take a number of small bears and put them on a table and ask a child to pick 3 bears and hand you the bears. Or you can again sort them by color, sort them by size. You can also begin to as you with even 5-year-olds work with some adding and subtracting. I think more than anything, the value of these bears is children love playing with them. They love the way they feel, and you've got a mama, a medium-sized bear, and a baby bear, and the children enjoy immensely playing with these bears. So again, have an opportunity for them to play with them, and then have your time when you're actually teaching a math skill. And lastly, we have beading, which again is fine motor, but it does include patterning. So we have the triangle, the square, and the circle shape, and the children have either a lace for lacing the beads, or I've included pipe cleaners, which are a bendable wire that they can put them on. And if they're going to be making a necklace, you can have them pick out random shapes and random colors. But if you want to actually start teaching some skills, you can say, let's find 2 triangles, followed by 1 circle and 1 square, and have them practice picking out the shapes. And in this kit, we also have lacing practice, which is more of a fine motor skill practice rather than a math skill, but I've included these with the lacing and the beads. Thank you. This is it for the math. I'm going to move on with the next video to art and writing. Thank you.